Let me tell you a quick story about my daughter when she was 4 years old. She wasn't a terrible 2. She wasn't a three-nager. She was a fearsome 4 years old. Full of options, energy, and zero fear. One evening, me and my wife planned to go out, and she had her curling iron on the bathroom counter. And needless to say, those curls was hot sitting there. I look her, my daughter, dead in the eyes, and I say, Super Duper, because that's her nickname, Super Duper. Super Duper, don't touch those. They're very hot. She gives me a little smirk, like kids give when they're thinking about something. They want to be disobedient, but should I or should I not? Or she was doing some type of investigation work. You know, she did love Doc McStuffins when she was 4 years old. I walk out the room, and 2 seconds later, I hear, ah! I come back in. She's holding her finger, looking as shocked as she can be. As a parent, it's like this. What's going on? What's going on, Miranda? What's going on? She says, Daddy, why didn't you tell me it was going to burn me? Now listen, she had the knowledge, but after that moment, she also had the understanding. She never touched my wife's curling irons again. In fact, anytime my wife's doing her hair, Miranda, even though she's 11 years old today, stays far away as she possibly can be. And right there, that's money, that's business, and that's relationships. See, you can be told something is hot. You can read warnings. But until life burns you a little bit, you don't really understand. Knowledge is like knowing that the stove is hot. But understanding is why you shouldn't touch it. Because you remember how it stings. So don't beat yourself up if you get burned a few times in business or in relationship. That's tuition. That's the cost of business. That's gaining wisdom. Just make sure you don't fail the same test twice. And that is the difference in business, in finances, between knowing with your knowledge and experiencing something through understanding. You see, it's different. A lot of people know things, but just because you know it, don't mean that you understand it. And that intersection between knowledge and understanding makes the rich richer. Makes a person going through something now having the experience and evidence to practice what they preach and live in their divine assignment. And this is a huge difference between knowledge and truly understanding, because one builds wealth and another builds wisdom. Knowledge by itself is the wisdom, but how we build wealth is with knowledge and understanding. So we're going to talk about today the difference between knowledge and understanding and why both together makes the rich rich, makes the individuals wealthy, and could put you in a position to do the things that you want in business and with your finances. Y'all ready? Before we get started, as always, like, subscribe, share to our channel. In real life, I'm a certified financial planner. We manage hundreds of millions of dollars of assets, have clients all throughout the world, but on these social media airwaves, we're just giving great information. We're going to give you the principles of knowledge and understanding. Y'all ready? Let go! So in order to go over knowledge versus understanding, we first need the actual definition. We'll go over the 3 principles you need to succeed with both. First, when it comes to knowledge, knowledge is the information, the facts, and the skills you acquire through education or experience is what you know. Knowledge is like being aware that the fire is hot. Lil Wayne, the block is hot, the block is hot. You know, and you're aware that it's hot. But you see, understanding, different type of awareness. Because with understanding, that definition is the ability to grasp the meaning. significance, and then the application of knowledge. It's how you process, interpret, and act on what you know. You see, understanding is knowing not to touch the fire. And because you felt the burn or you seen the consequences, you're not going to do it. You see, knowledge is like picking up a book and reading something. Understanding is having a mentor walk you through what to do and what not to do, and taking the awareness and turn it into experience. So, knowledge versus understanding. Well, the first thing we want to make sure that we understand is you can be knowledgeable, but also make poor decisions. Let me say that again. You can be knowledgeable, but make poor decisions. A prime story is one of the people that's hated on Wall Street and in life. That's Elizabeth Holmes. You see, she was hailed as the next Steve Jobs. She dropped out of Stanford. She wore her black turtlenecks. That was her uniform. And had a $1 billion idea, Theranos, a company that promised to run hundreds of blood tests with one single drop of blood. She raised over $700 million from some of the smartest people in the world, investors, former presidents, tech titans. She even knew how to pitch. She spoke the language of the common people and was able to thrive with her brilliance. But one thing went wrong. The science wasn't real. The product was a scam. And instead of slowing down to get things right, she doubled down. You see, she had the knowledge, but she still made poor choices. Elon Musk, today, all the craziness, very variable, knowledgeable person, but time after time after time, he shows us he makes poor decisions. And it goes on and on and on. Celebrities and everyday people you look at like, man, they were so smart, but they made poor decisions. And when it comes to life, they always say, a first impression goes a long way, but a bad impression you can't recover from. So because we have the knowledge and because we are knowledgeable, that one bad decision, that one poor decision may not be recoverable. Think about individuals that you know that was as smart as they could be, made one bad decision, had one too many drinks, and got on the road and got a DUI. Got a little bit too angry and had a confrontation with the boss, and now they're fired. Countless times. So it's one thing to be knowledgeable, but the lack of understanding the consequences of your decisions goes a long way. So it's good to be knowledgeable, but you need the understanding, and that combination of the two makes us succeed. So number one, you can be knowledgeable and you can make a poor decision, and that can alter the trajectory of your business, your personal life, even your relationships forever. I could be a college graduate with debt. I'm knowledgeable, but I made poor decisions when I graduated college on how to spend my money. Should I pay off debt or should I run it up? Think about that. We have the knowledge, but let's get that understanding. Investors who know the stock market, they know the market's going to go back up, but they panic sell. You see, they know the stock market. They have the knowledge, but they lack the understanding of what to do, what to execute, and they sell low. Had many conversations with clients 2 months ago when the Trump tariffs were going on. They're still going on now, but when at the height of it, we had to walk so many people off the ledge of selling their investments, panic selling. They had the knowledge. They knew that it's going to go back up. They lacked the understanding, but the mentor in me, the coach in me, coached them through not making a bad decision, and today their portfolios are a lot better because of it. Entrepreneurs with business plans and no action, we call that busy work. You do all the chat GPTs, you do all the Googlings, you spend so much time perfecting the product. That's knowledge. But you don't go obtain business. You don't learn how to bring in customers. That's the understanding. You see, wisdom isn't about what you know. It's about how you apply it under pressure. And number 2, understanding comes through experience, pain, and repetition. I repeat, number 2, understanding comes from experience, pain, and repetition. Who here has worked out? When you first work out, when you get into a routine, it hurts. It feels so bad when I try to do that push-up. A few weeks later, now I'm doing 3 or 4 push-ups, but it hurts. A month later, I'm doing 10 or 15 push-ups, it hurts. It's a common thing. Through experience of doing those push-ups, the pain of those push-ups, and the repetition of it, over time, it feels better. After you get into a routine and work out, don't your bones feel better? Don't your muscles feel better? Now, it's a pain, but it's a good pain. Today, because I work out the pain I feel, it feels good. And then when you're all sore and you shake everything out, shake it out, shake it out. It feels kind of hurts, but in a good way, not a bad way. That's understanding through experience, pain, and repetition. And I love the story of King Solomon in the Bible. Also because I'm in Solomon's court with my coach, Myron Golden, paying him $55,000 a year to do it, but definitely well worth it from a mentorship standpoint. But with King Solomon, he was wise because he asked for understanding, not knowledge. And with that understanding he received, he coached kings, emperors, pharaohs, the smartest of them all. And then he did group coaching where people would travel far and wide to hear him talk about rulership and business. You see, he was able to achieve all that from understanding through his many experiences in the pain and repetition. So you can use life lessons just like my daughter Miranda. Touching those hot curling iron, she knows now never to do it again. She has some understanding through her experience. Yes, through her pain and the repetition. Now, it was only one time. It's not going to happen again, believe you me. But she learned that. And so in business, understanding a bad deal. Having the knowledge, it might be good, but going through the process, having the experience, the pain of a bad deal, and the repetition not to have it again goes a long way. Overspending. We all here have overspent. Most of the success stories about people getting out of debt and being better with their finances is the bad experience that they had. And so through that experience and the pain that I felt, the repetition is that I will never overspend again. Even in my own practice, when the market went down, it was investments we did for clients that maybe was not the best. They made money, but when the market went down, they lost as well. Years ago, because of that experience, the pain it felt, and the repetition of the market going up and down, we learned investment strategies like the 20% rule we do for all clients. When a stock goes down, you buy it. But you don't buy it when it starts going down. You buy it when it's down by 20%. Because once it's down by 20%, it gets back to where it was, that's a 25% game. And because of the repetition doing a strategy, it was to the point where it's almost perfected because we only do it with a certain amount of stocks that have done this time after time using experience, pain, and repetition. So I had the knowledge, but I did not have the understanding. But that has changed over time. And that's why we have one of the largest minority-owned investment firms in the country, in my opinion, because of the knowledge I had, but then also the understanding I gained. And number 3, success requires both. Again, success requires both. In my Dr. Umar voice for the 3rd time, success requires both. You see, knowledge tells you the rules. Understanding tells you when to move, when to wait, and when to walk away. In Proverbs, it says it all. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, you then get understanding. Ain't that a guide? Knowledge is the beginning. You have to receive it. You have to get knowledge first. That's the first thing. Pick up a book. Do your research. Learn. Be committed to learning and getting the wisdom you need in your field, in your profession, in life. But then it might cost all you have to get the understanding. We don't understand things at the drop. We understand things through experience, through life lessons. And to quickly get that experience is to have a mentor. I say it all the time how important it is to have a mentor and a coach that helps you. It allowed me to scale so quickly, even though I had years of success, years of awards, years of achievements, until I spent the money on a coach and a mentor. I was growing. Now things are exploding. In business, in your personal life, get yourself a mentor that can help you quickly get that understanding, that can allow you to know what to do, what not to do, and why, how to run the business, how to grow your finances, how to reduce your taxes, how to make sure your money grows, how to use the IRS to your advantage. That is where coaching comes in. That's where mentorship comes in. And that is why knowledge is good, but understanding equals success. So in closing, before you chase knowledge, ask yourself, do I actually understand what to do with what I already know? Because in life and in faith and in business, it's not what you know, it's what you understand that makes you unshakable. Get the knowledge, gain the understanding, get a coach, get a mentor, and have a person help you with repetition, pain, and experience. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yes, my daughter will not be touching a curling iron anytime soon. All is well, but if you have questions, comments, comment below, and also put the word relax in the chat and help you with the understanding with the knowledge that you already have. All is well, love is love, and beautiful Jacksonville. Let's make some painful or painless profits together, y'all. Peace.